Hi everybody. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Johannes Reuben. And there's a nice slide with my name on it, how it's spelled. Different from the typical double N with a single S. In case you want to write a check out for me. But I'm a game developer. I call myself a game developer because I kind of like dabble in a few things, like, attempt to do some game art, pretend I'm doing some programming, and that kind of thing. I've been working with game development, started back as a game artist in the Atari Jaguar days, about 1990 something. Worked on Game Boys, the Nintendo Game Boys, handhelds, all the way from Game Boy. The first one, I got one game at least on the original Game Boy. We did a couple on the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, all the way to Nintendo DS. Worked on a few things on PS2, and what else did I do? Yeah, and PC and some Flash stuff. So it'd be like, having a lot of fun just working with games all around. So, what I'd like to share with all of you some thoughts and ideas on game art and not just game art really, but a way of thinking for game development, which is something that that people are doing, and it's occurred to me as well. It's pretty cool, and I kind of call it doodling for ideas. Now, doodling, we all know doodling. I mean, we all kind of like do little doodles, and traditional sense, we have little scribblings on the side, right, of our notebook or somewhere. We do it like to occupy our time, like when we're on the phone, talking, just having a conversation, or when we're in class, and in my boring lecture, and you guys are like drawing little things. So that's the traditional sense. And when I went around and I looked at, and thought about doodling, is what is doodling? And a lot of people come up with all kinds of things like, it's time wasting, it's an energy burner, it's playfulness, it's creativity, it's all kinds of things. And you find that a lot of people doodle and yet just not think about what they're doodling or why they're doodling. So there's also kind of like a lot of research, theories, books, websites. If you went and looked on doodling alone, there's things like, and I've not done any of this research. And doodling, like recently some reports said that it increases memory retention by so many % if you doodle while listening to someone, kind of thing. And of course, websites that go on about doodling for creativeness and stuff. So one of my favorites is the site called World Doodle Project. So, American Heritage Dictionary defines scribbling while occupied. That's kind of like boring, but I like what the World Doodle Project said about it, so I just took it straight from that website. Depiction of subconscious chatter, graphic filtering of information. It is not a sketch or a drawing. And the most important part, there is no conscious effort to create or depict. And that to me is the key, where doodling is there is no conscious effort to create or depict, which is why it is not a sketch, it is not a drawing. You are just doing something without the intention, without thinking about it. So, who doodles? We all doodle, right? All kinds of people doodle. Different walks of life, not even artists, right? Everyone just does some kind of thing. Different cultures, we speak different languages, different ages, from 3-4 years old to 50, 60 years old. We're all still doing a little bit of doodle here and there. And you see it everywhere, you see it all over the world. So, to me the question is there something inherent that is a common thread among all of us? We all do this one thing, right? Without really even thinking about it. So, 30,000 years ago, this little, half-naked hairy dude scribbled on a wall, right? And this is just a quick example of what scribbled. And to me it was like, why did he do this? And there are a lot of theories about this. Archaeologists go on about, it was a ceremonial thing, it was a religious thing. One theory which I subscribe to is that he was trying to communicate, as they didn't have very complex languages. So, trying to communicate to others in his tribe, others in the cave, right? Or he was just bored and said, hey, saw a nice horse the other day, I think I'll draw it out, right? Could be any of these things. But we started doing something, right? Somewhere along the lines, instead of thinking like, aside from, I need fire to cook food and clothes and shelter, but instead of thinking of all the modern stuff we have, this caveman sat there and said, I want to draw. I want to make a visual expression. And so throughout history, we've created all kinds of stuff. Paintings, drawings, music, literature, dance, glyphs, sculptures, and you see it from all that, right? From 20,000 years ago, we were sculpting things, right? This was like before we even thought of like, ooh, money. We never thought of that then, right? We wanted to sculpt. We wanted to tell others or express to others or show others certain things. So to me, that shows this inherent behavior of trying to communicate our emotions, our thoughts, and ideas. We were trying to express that, and that's inherent in us. We all want to do it. We all want to, some of us take it to artistic expression, but the main thing is we all want to communicate and share. That's what we do every day, and we just want to do it, right? We need to talk to someone. I mean, anyone here spent more than 2 weeks not speaking to anyone? Right? We just do it all. You sit there and go like, damn it, I need to call someone, right? You find a video, you find a website, you're like, you read a new book, you watched a TV series, you played a new game. You want to tell someone, right? Which is why we have all the things like Facebook and Twitter, right? Your cat took a dump, I need to tell someone, right? There's always this desire to communicate. So that desire to communicate, to express, drives that creativity. So we don't have the language, we don't have the vocabulary, so we want to try and express these complex thoughts and ideas. What do? We put them in some kind of visual representation. We start drawing, sculpting, making music, just trying to express these things. So, books, paintings, sculptures, music, dance, movies, games, we have all those big things. Then we do it every day. We express ourselves in our dress. We express ourselves in our hairstyles, our tattoos, every single thing we're doing, not even verbally communicating, not even visually communicating, carrying ourselves forward, right? We want to look good, we want to look, I want to dress the way I feel, I want to tell people this is who I am, right? So we do this every day in different ways, and of course phone, email, Facebook, Twitter. But I think the center one is really, really important because it's something that you do personally without even talking about it, without even tweeting about it, right? You sit and you comb your hair or go for a different hairstyle, but you're communicating your feelings, your emotions, and your thoughts. You're still expressing. You never stop communicating. Unless you die. Some people think you still communicate after that too. So, now, a little something about the things that we communicate, the visual concepts, or the ideas, or the thoughts that we have. So I believe that all our creations, all our thoughts and ideas are derivative, and meaning they were derived from somewhere, taken in a very broad sense of the word. So all our thoughts, ideas, emotions came from somewhere. What we've heard, seen, experienced, influenced, or inspired by, and then we replicate and we innovate from there, right? So what I'm saying is that we actually every day go down to the core and create from what we've gathered in our heads, the information that we've gathered from when we were a child to where we are now, right? An example that I always give in class quite often is the students, I say can you draw me an emu? And they go, what? I said, you don't know what an emu is, right? So you cannot even concept or have the concept of what an emu is, because you've never seen it, you've never experienced it, and so that can never be part of your concept or part of your design. If you saw an emu, then you could go out and make zombie emus or something like that, right? The emu is a little bird kind of thing. Is that right? It's a bird, right?
Big bird.
Big bird. It's a big bird, right?
It doesn't fly.
Doesn't fly. It's like an ostrich, but without long legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also long legs too.
It has. Really? I thought it was short little things. I know. I've seen pictures of them. I've seen pictures. Exactly. And hence, any design I do of an emu would be a derivative. So we gather everything from there. So that to me is it's the key concept, derivative ideas. So we've got extreme mouth, really dry. So derivative ideas. So what I'm saying is that there is nothing really original, right? Original idea is from somewhere else. It is from something else. And I'll break up our derivative ideas into two levels, a higher derivative level and a lower derivative level. The higher derivative level is that we are influenced, we're inspired by movies, games, literature, media, right? Things that others have been inspired by something else, expressed their thoughts and ideas in the form of movies, games, literature, right? And then we take that and then we further base our concepts or our ideas and thoughts on that. So that to me is like a higher level, because someone has taken their experiences, their thoughts, expressed it, you're taking from there and then you're moving forward. But you're only taking that level that that person has expressed. You yourself have not experienced it. Like the emu, right? I've seen a picture of it, or I've seen a movie or something that inspired me. And so I create from there. And to me, that's where this whole block of creativity gets trapped in this little circle that goes around, because you go from movies, games, into music, right? You're inspired by that, you're influenced by that, you go down, creating derivative, going back up, you're creating a game, right? Inspired by another game, and then you're expressing what your thoughts are on that game, and it just goes back up again, right? So then the lower level is the core. It's what you are inside. It's what you've experienced, the root of everything, where if you've never seen a blue balloon, you would not know what a blue balloon is, right? The experiences that you've experienced, and you gain from that. This is the same thing that those guys did to make those movies and games. So here, the lower level is what's inside you. And from there, you get original ideas.